You are not finished, Linda. We fully expect more great chapters and more tremendous work to come. But you are most deserving to be in the Michigan Journalism Hall of Fame and to be honored tonight. Congratulations, sister.
I cannot thank Ann Doyle enough for those beautiful words. I mean, not only is she an incredible friend, she lives the message of her book, Powering Up. She is right there to help women achieve their goals in life. She's an outstanding role model, and you are a treasure in my life. So thank you, Ann. I wish to thank Dr. Lucinda Davenport and her so sweet assistant, Margie Anderson, for all of your kindness and enthusiasm since I found out on Valentine's Day. That's right. I have really enjoyed getting to know you both, so thank you again. To journalist Maureen McDonald and the members of Women in Communications, without your expertise, with your expertise, Maureen, women throughout Michigan can and will achieve their goals. So thank you. To the prestigious panel of journalists on the Hall of Fame committee, your support of my work and my career will forever be appreciated. Thank you so much for helping me achieve this goal tonight. A very personal thank you to all of my friends at tables number 3 and table 9. All of my great friends. Thank you for being here and celebrating with me. To my wonderful mother, Mona Rappaport, and my husband, Barry, and my sister, broadcast journalist Jill Rappaport. Without your love, what can I say? Your time and love has made my career possible. To my father, in memory, Daniel Rappaport, who bought me a camera when I was just 5 years old. But it was another gift that changed my life. When I was 13, I will never forget opening a beautifully wrapped box, and there was a very elegant leather book with my name embossed in gold. And it was a photo album. And that was the gift that changed my life, because it showed respect that my parents had for my work as a 13-year-old. My parents and my husband have given me the guidance to pursue every one of my dreams. And when a door has closed in my career, and believe me, many have closed, my mother and Barry are right there beside me, giving me the confidence to open a new door. I am so proud to be here tonight and to share this incredible honor with the very special award-winning Bob Giles, whom I've worked with, and Ken Winter. And listening to Bill Bonds here tonight, wow, do I miss you each night as one of our great anchors. You're brilliant. There is a member of the Hall of Fame that I must acknowledge because she was instrumental in my career. She was a columnist and one of the most brilliant writers, the late Tavi Stone. Tavi introduced my work to Ben Burns, to Lionel Linder, to Jerry Storch, all the top editors at the Detroit News. It is very important to create opportunity for others. That is Tavi's legacy, and it's a life lesson that I learned from two people, from Tavi Stone and broadcast journalist Del Warner. And Bob and Jerry and Wanda, they worked with Dell. And Ben knows Tavi. And if those ladies believed in you, the rest of the world swallowed the hook, line, and sinker because they would convince everyone they knew that they had to believe in you too. Another lesson that I learned in addition to creating opportunity is one that has been talked about tonight by both Bob Giles and Ken Winter. It is so important to share what we have learned in life with others. Many years ago when I was at the news, and Ben, you might remember this, I interviewed Gordie Howe. And I asked Gordie, at that time, this was in the 80s, and I said to Gordie, how do you feel about Wayne Gretzky? Because at that time, Wayne Gretzky was starting to surpass Gordie. And Gordie looked at me, he said, I have to tell you, Wayne calls me. And he has asked me to watch him play. And I have watched him. And I have given him advice. And then he looked at me and he said, when Wayne scores, I feel I have scored again. So the lesson of sharing your knowledge is so gratifying. I have to tell you a secret. I love teaching more than I really love shooting. I think it is so important to teach. And I feel that every photograph should reveal the heart and touch the heart. For years I've worked with children, but when I started working with children living in shelters, I realized how a photograph can really change a life. I met a little boy named Darius who was 10 years old and living in the Salvation Army Denby Center. And when I work with kids, I always treat them just the way I would treat a journalist here in this room. I give them all the respect that they deserve, and I also encourage them to share their heart. And I always like to give them an assignment, and with a deadline. So the assignment is to capture what you hope and wish for in life. And the first time the children listen, they think, well, they start to write about it, but then I ask them if they would come up and share the things they're going to go off and capture with their cameras. And I'll never forget Darius because he walked up to a microphone in front of a lot of people. And he looked out and he said, I have two things I want to photograph. The two things I wish for in life. I wish to have my own bed, and I wish to see my mother smile again. Now, Darius photographed that little bed. And the power of one image. A very famous football player by the name of Dre Bly, who was at that time with the Lions, happened to see Darius on television locally. And he happened to see the photograph of the little bed. And he called the Salvation Army. He said, I want to help that child because of the photo that he had taken, and also because of what he said about his mother. So he was able to talk to Darius, and he said to Darius, I want to grant your wish. But as luck would have it, the videographer at Fox 2 had already granted that wish, and he had bought Darius the bed and hero sheets to go along with the bed. So Dre Bly said, well, what can I do for you? It's Christmas. What can I give you? Do you have any other wishes? And Darius paused and he said, well, we were able to move into a little apartment. I wish we could have a stove. So Dre Bly granted him that wish. He said, well, I'm going to get you a stove. He said, but is there anything else? He said, I wish we could have a refrigerator. And he also granted the refrigerator. But then Dre Bly said, well, what about for you? Your wishes are all for your family. Is there one wish just for you? And Darius, at the age of 10, said, yes, I do have one wish. I wish I had I had a lamp because I have to do my homework with a flashlight. And he granted him that wish. The children that I have met don't wish for Nintendos or iPads or, iPads. They wish for the things that are truly important, and they express those incredible wishes in photographs. A social worker at the Salvation Army said to me, and I quote, "Getting the children to talk is almost impossible, but they come to life with their photographs." The children take this photo assignment to capture their hopes and dreams very seriously. One little girl was asked by a videographer who was documenting what we were doing, and the videographer said, "Do you mind? I need to take that camera back to the station." And he looked at this little girl, and he said, "Can I have your camera?" And she said, she was holding onto it, and it was so tight. She said, "No, please, that camera has my dreams." When I was asked to speak before the FCC on how we can interest children in our profession, to not only read the paper, but to want to work for one, I said, well, what I've done is just, again, treat them with respect, give them opportunity, share what we have learned, and make it fun. And when I found out the Eccentric was closing, as Ann mentioned, after 131 years, I called the editor, Greg Kowalski, and I told him I wanted to volunteer my time to help save the paper. I had my first byline in the Detroit News in 1978. Bill Clark was the editor at that time and purchased my first photo. But the Eccentric gave me my first assignment, and many assignments. The paper was so important to me for many reasons, and Ken Winter understands this. When I began my freshman year at the University of Arizona, I asked my parents to send the subscription to my dorm because I wanted to feel connected to my hometown. And your hometown newspaper gives you that connection. One of my voluntary responsibilities was to do a weekly column. And one week, I asked readers to write me if they wanted to collaborate with me to cover a very special, fun event in Birmingham. It's called Day on the Town. But the only requirement for collaboration, the writer had to be in middle school. Well, I received so many emails from children, from parents, asking if their child and asking to come along with me to document Day on the Town. One of the children I was selected was 12-year-old Logan Katz. Because of the Eccentric, Logan realized what it feels like to wake up before the sun rises, to race out to your driveway and open the paper to see your first byline. And his second byline. And his third byline. He even had a front page byline. The Eccentric loves his work. It was life-changing for Logan, as it was for me and for every journalist in this room. Because of this opportunity, Logan will continue to grow with his passion for telling stories with a camera. And one day, my hope is for Logan, Darius, the little girl that said her camera had her dreams, and for little Riley Brennan, who's right here tonight, whose mother, Kathy, gave her her birthday gift 10 days before her birthday, just so she could capture this evening. And of course, her birthday gift was a camera. But my dream for you is to achieve the dream that I just achieved. And one day you will be standing here too. Thank you so much.